Hey, good morning everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss Pre-Market Report for June 29th, 2017. I'm Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. And we had a significant recovery over the last session here. This is what we've been talking about this entire time here, is how the previous month's close and the previous month's high have been support throughout the month. Many times where bulls have come in to defend the zone to bring it right back up. I've also talked about how the 34 to 36 zone has been kind of the mid zone of this range. We're never too far away from it. Price comes right back no matter how far away it gets from it. So right now we have a very tight compression. We have two more full sessions left in the month, and you can see how narrow the forecasted upcoming month's pivot range is. That tells you right there that we have significant compression that could see expansion at some point. We continue to have an overall upward trending bias, so every time we have a major pullback, bulls come in and buy this thing back up. So it's been very buoyant. Every time it pulls back, it's been pushed right back to highs. And right now, any attempt to push above 24.50 again could be met with another round of selling pressure back toward 34.5 to 36.25. So right now, still in the range. You got to be able to fade the edges with an upward bias, and so far price continues to hold above those 2400 to 2405s, and at the moment all of that action is going to be released one way or another, and we got to continue to watch for signs of expansion down the road. If we take a look at the intraday time frame, all right, here's the intraday time frame. Not really much to go off of right now at the moment. Again, the 34.5 to the 36.25 right here, that's kind of the mid zone of this range. Price continues to push up until it finds rejection, perhaps above 50, 51. Once that happens, we could be coming right back to this zone right here, especially right where 5-day VPOC is. So right now, still kind of quietly pushing higher. Once we find an edge, there could be a fade opportunity back toward the center of this range. All right, let's take a look at the NQ. The NQ had perhaps the most aggressive rally in the previous session, rallying right back up into the previous range. You can see how significant that push was. This was huge. Again, what we started yesterday's pre-market with was the rejection that was starting off this lower edge of the range. What I mentioned before was this rejection suggested that we could see it bounce back up toward the center portion of this range. This is the new impulse range here, not marked on this chart, but it will be next time you see me. This right here provides a very nice key range to continue to watch the edges as this thing builds out. But overall, right here in the middle of this range doesn't really offer a whole lot of edge. It's more at the outer portions of the range where it's fadeable. And right now, back toward the middle means we could be seeing a little bit of chop before the next move occurs on a swing basis. On an intraday basis right now, what you'll notice is a significant uptrending move in the previous session, very relentless. When we were leaving the trading room yesterday, the idea was that we would likely continue toward the 57.60s and close the day there. And the close came right at about 57.68. So it continued higher into that zone, reached the 57.61s, which is the FOMC key level from June 14th, and you can see here right above the close failing to hold and now trending downward short term here. So we have a downward trend on the VWAP, lower highs, and a failure to hold above the previous close. This is leading to a little bit of a back and fill. The previous session's closing value per VWAP is 57.10, so we could be looking at a move as far back as 57.10 before a bounce occurs. So right now trending downward, pullbacks to be sold until bulls can reclaim prices above VWAP. All right, let's take a look at crude oil. Crude oil also had a bit of strength in the previous session. I've been very hesitant about crude oil because we really haven't seen the type of rejection you'd like to see down near these lows to suggest a bounce. We knew that we could be getting close to an opportunity to bounce back toward 49s, 48, 75s, but it really wasn't significant in terms of a rejection down here, but it has seen and shown higher lows and higher highs day over day. I've continued to talk about that, and yesterday we had a significant squeeze beyond the previous session's high. So again, this is showing more and more strength here. I would say the next pullback toward 43.75 to 44 could provide a significant buying opportunity for a continuation toward composite VPOC. So right now, any pullback may be a great buying opportunity for a continuation. So we'll watch for that on a swing basis. On an intraday basis right now, basically pushing higher, and overall, you can see a nice hold off the previous session's close, which is bullish here, taking it bid, comes back, bid again through the previous high. Modest slope on VWAP right now, so a pullback could be a buying opportunity. Of course, previous session's close remains bid. That's perhaps the best opportunity to look for a fade opportunity off S3. So should price come down to this point, could be a fade back up toward value and new highs. Lastly, looking at SI. We looked at SI earlier in the week. All right, here's a look at SI. On the higher time frame here, earlier in the week, we mentioned this rejection and how that could lead to a bounce back toward 1727, which is composite VPOC. Right now, we've had a nice continuation over the last 2+ days. We are seeing a minor pullback here, but as long as price can hold above 1670, that could offer a continuation toward the 1727. So right now, still playing out decently on the way up, but we may see a little pullback before continuation occurs, but still looking decent toward that end. All right, that's it for now. Let's see how this thing plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck and trade well.